Hey everybody, welcome back. Mike from Spectre Comics here. Today we're going to be drawing page 25 of issue 6 of Spectre Comics. We completed page 24 a few weeks ago, and I was really excited because that page took a really long time. The goal is for this page to take a lot less time to complete. So we're going to, sketch out this page and, ink it and, try to get this page done a lot faster than the last page. And I mentioned that the page should have gone quick because there was not a lot of background, not a lot of detail. It was mostly just characters and talking heads and a lot of dialogue, and that's a lot quicker of a drawing to do than if you have a lot of detailed backgrounds or a lot of detail you have to add into the drawing. There's just a couple of hints of backgrounds in some of the scenes on this page, some of the panels, and mostly dialogue, again, just moving the story along and getting to the next phase of the adventure of the characters. But I expect this page to go much quicker. The key to the page going quicker is me just dedicating myself to being able to work on it. Last night I had a little snafu though. It took me an hour to figure out I couldn't get anything done. And what happened was I sat down to kind of work on this comic and just continue the work. And I'm drawing on a Wacom Cintiq 13 HD tablet, and I'm using Photoshop Elements 2019. And I go to start drawing, and all of a sudden nothing's working. Like the pencil was not drawing on the tablet. I'm like, what's going on? And sometimes if I'm doing a screen cap while I'm drawing, it slows the computer down because I've got two hard processes going at the same time. So the computer slows down. And I've got a pretty decent computer. I've got an i7 processor, 4-core computer, and it was still chugging, and I couldn't figure out why. So I turned off the screen cap OBS software that I use to capture my my drawing, and it still wasn't working. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, and then I thought back over the weekend. I did an update on my computer. There was a Lenovo. I have a Lenovo laptop. There was an update to install. I didn't even think about it. I installed the update, and I noticed there was a couple of changes on my computer, like the taskbar changed, and there's a couple of the other different features. And then I also updated the software on the tablet because when I updated the computer, then it forced an update on the tablet. So I updated all the firmware there, got all the drivers going, and then I started drawing, and nothing was drawing. I'm like, what's going on? It was frustrating. I'm like, did the tablet update or the computer update affect the pen settings on my tablet? And I started doing all this research, like what's going on, and no, I couldn't find anything. There was nobody who had a similar problem online, and that's usually what I do when I have a computer problem, is I go ahead and I do a little research and see if somebody's obviously had to have this problem too. But I couldn't even define what I should be looking for because I'm like, tablet pen settings not working after Windows update or after Lenovo update. Just there was nothing to be found under those topics. So I restarted the computer. I did all these different tests, and then the funny thing was that although the pencil tool wasn't working, the pen tool was. And I usually use the pencil tool in my drawings because I know I get more pixels, but I get less of the fade and the gradient on the line that the pen tool gives. It's just not appropriate for the way I draw. So again, I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then an hour later, after doing all this research and kind of digging into the whole process, I looked at the pen. I grabbed the pencil again, and then I looked down on the toolbar. The little menu that pops up at the bottom when you're in a function, and the opacity was set all the way down to 0. So it was just user error. Now I don't remember setting it to 0, so I don't know what happened there, and I didn't even think to look. I just happened to notice it when I went back to the pencil tool after an hour of trying everything else. I slid the bar back to 100, so the opacity went away, and it worked fine. And then by that time, it was so late, I didn't get any drawing done because I was like, it's time to go to bed. I got to go to work in the morning. So that was fun. Again, another night of lost work. Again, I am pretty far along on this page. I've inked the whole page. It's not completed in this video, but made some good progress. Started really sketchy with the characters. And another thing about this page is that the pencil sketches that I did these pencil sketches a really long time ago. I also feel like I'm getting a little lazy because I'm getting to the point in the comic where I'm trying to hurry up and finish it. And as I sketched over my pencils, I started to realize I didn't like some of the way I framed some of the scenes on this page, some of the panels. I don't like the expressions some of the characters are making. I don't like where they're located in relation to each other. Again, I mentioned this in the last video. When you are setting up each panel, you're kind of like a film director setting a shot. So you want to make sure you convey the proper information in the shot. The characters are placed properly. The dialogue is placed properly. And I started to really look at each panel as I was kind of sketching over the pencil lines and realized I didn't like it. So I'm kind of changing. This is one where I'm actually editing as I go and making the changes on the fly to correct the page and get it. Now, ultimately, I'm sure the page will look fine when I'm done with it. But at this really early stage of just doing my first pass at inking all the characters on the page, I notice I got to make some changes. I got to change some body types. And again, some of this is really sketchy pencil. I'm getting really lazy with my pencils because I do all the work once I scan it and bring it into the tablet. And it just makes it... I like the idea that I can get through my pencils quicker, but with the less detail you add in your pencils, the more you end up drawing on the back end. It does allow me to do corrections on the fly. Drawing on a tablet just makes things a lot easier and quicker for me. But it's also good to have a nice baseline pencil sketch to start from in order to make your inking a lot easier. So it's personal preference. Sometimes I like to get really detailed with my pencils. I've noticed since I've been using a tablet, I get a lot less detail. Again, the idea is to get as much done quickly as possible. When I start doing the pencils on issue 7, I'm going to try to be a little more detailed. Another thing that's going to happen on issue 7 is I'm going to be introducing a lot of characters that are brand new. So I'm going to be drawing them for the first time and almost designing as I go. I haven't talked a lot about character design. I want to do a couple more videos on how I design my characters and how I kind of develop them as they become important parts of the story. Arco, as I mentioned, I did a video on Arco a long time ago, a couple weeks ago. Arco is featured heavily on this page, but I did when I originally sketched him, he was not developed at all. He was just a quick sketch of a character, and then I needed a character to fill a role in this story, and I took a sketch I did randomly and redeveloped the character, kind of redesigned him, fleshed him out a little more in order for him to become a character in this story that's, again, very highly important as he is one of the main protagonists of the story that moves it forward. So we will talk more about character design. I think that's an important topic. I think it's an interesting topic, and it's important to know if you're writing a book and drawing a comic, drawing a graphic novel, that you need some character design. And then right after this scene, we're going to be transitioning to the next phase of the story and moving the characters on the next part of their quest. So it should be fun. In the next 6 pages, the 6 or 7 pages I have left for this comic, are going to be a lot of fun, because not only is it going to be a little more adventurous, as all of this dialogue is going to stop and we're going to kind of get into more action, it's going to really be setting up the next part of the story. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you had fun following along and listening to me talk about my comic creation woes. We're going to have a lot more Halloween themed content coming up in the month of October. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.